this a bit of a disaster for your party? Not what Prime Minister May had intended?
It's not what we'd hoped for, no, but it's not a disaster. We got a bigger share of the popular vote than at any time this century under previous leaders. We are the biggest party in Parliament, and we have enough MPs to be able to govern even without support from others.
That is amazing.
So let's get on with it.
I mean, she's lost.
There are plenty of silver linings.
Even compared to the number of seats she had last time, the whole point was to increase her majority, and she's decreased it.
Well, the point was to win, and she has won. We'd have liked to have won with a bigger margin, obviously. But we are the people's servants, and we now got to get on and do what they want. And they want us to deliver a sensible Brexit with free trade and friendly agreements with our partners on the continent.
That's interesting.
That is the priority.
Yeah.
And the great news about that is that we did have a third party in Britain run on the ticket of effectively reversing Brexit and giving everybody a second chance and a second vote. And they were crushed.
But we also had a second party, the Labour Party, who ran on a ticket of a much softer Brexit than yours. Is this not a rejection of a hard Brexit?
I don't agree that they ran on something called a soft Brexit. They, like us, said you cannot stay in the single market and that you need to be free of all that to do free trade agreements around the rest of the world. So there's a lot of similarity.
They certainly wouldn't have said no deal is better than a bad deal.
No, and that's why they wouldn't have negotiated it so well, and that's why they came second rather than first, I think you'll find.
But she has no mandate for her Brexit plans, though, does she?
She does, of course she does. She has the biggest popular vote of any Prime Minister since Tony Blair. I think that counts for quite a lot.
For as long as she lasts.
She has quite enough MPs in the House of Commons to do most of the things you need to do.
With the help.
She is forming a government at this very moment.
She is, with the help of the DUP.
Yeah,
What do we know about the DUP and what they've asked for in exchange for this support?
Well, I'm sure they'll want a favourable attitude towards certain items in Northern Ireland. Why wouldn't they? And it would be nice to have their support, but it's not absolutely fundamental. We have enough Conservative votes to be able to carry on government. And quite rightly, the Queen will want the Prime Minister to carry on because she is the leader of the biggest party and she has every right to do that.
Do you think Theresa May lasts the week, the month, the year?
Yes, I think she's in very good position, not as good as we'd like to have been, but she has my full support. I think you'll find most of the Conservative MPs recently elected share my enthusiasm for getting on with the job. And I'm also like to say to the rest of the country that the many people who voted Labour who also think we need to complete the Brexit process, of course, they're going to have lots of disagreements with Theresa May and the Conservatives over all sorts of things. But when she is there in Brussels negotiating for our country, she is their Prime Minister as well as my Prime Minister, and it would be very sensible to get behind her because she wants the same things that Labour wants.
Okay.